Welcome back to the Road Show this morning in the Buzz. In just a couple of hours, actually about an hour and a half ago, Massachusetts voters began heading to the polls to elect a new senator who will succeed the late Ted Kennedy. The race is neck and neck between Republican Scott Brown and Democrat Martha Coakley, at least in some pre-polling results.
Right.
And while the special elections don't normally draw that much attention, today's election is actually going to have a nationwide impact. In fact, both candidates have some big names backing them. Coakley, of course, has President Obama campaigning for, even appearing in ads and automated calls. And on Brown's side, Curt Schilling has been a very vocal supporter, and the campaign has become pretty nasty. Yesterday, both candidates appeared at a breakfast to honor Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. in Boston, where Coakley drummed up support for her campaign, drawing criticism from her opponent. Take a look.
And I'm running for the United States Senate because Dr. King's work is unfinished. His dream is unrealized, and we know that. But that work continues, and I ask for your vote tomorrow.
I certainly didn't realize that this was a rally for Martha, and I thought it was inappropriate that she started, asking for people's votes when we're trying to remember Martin Luther King Jr.
Interesting. So, do you guys think it was appropriate to use this?
I don't.
You don't?
I agree with
Scott Brown?
Scott. I mean, we have one day a year basically to honor, one of the greatest civil rights leaders of all times, and to kind of be begging for votes there. I thought that was a little insensitive.
What do you think, Vince?
I happen to disagree. I don't think that if she was around, running around tables, glad-handing and say, I want your vote, this and that, then I'd have a problem with it. She spoke about Martin Luther King and his dream, and she wanted to continue to follow that. Based upon just what I saw there, I didn't see the whole speech. I don't know how long-winded it was, but from what I saw, I really didn't have a problem.
I think, I will say this, I think Martha Coakley has drawn some criticism for a few, what some people have called missteps. She called Curt Schilling a Yankees fan, which, provoked some ire from Massachusetts residents. And also, Scott Brown had been asked, I know at one point, how can you run for this seat knowing that you're not going to vote for President Obama's health care plan, knowing that this was Ted Kennedy's lifelong goal? How can you run for Ted Kennedy's seat when you know you're not going to vote for it? To which Scott Brown responded, I thought this was the people's seat.
People's seat.
So I thought it was really interesting to see the different ways that they're handling some of the pressure and the ways that they're trying to move forward in all of this. I also want to mention Joseph L. Kennedy is also running in this race.
No relation.
No relation to the late Ted Kennedy, but the reason he is less mentioned than some of the others is he's an independent candidate, and he is a distant third behind Martha Coakley and Scott Brown.
What makes this so very important is that if Coakley loses, she's the 60th vote on health care. And that probably means that Obama's health care goes down to 2.
That's what it comes down to.
We also failed to mention that not only was Obama there, but former President Clinton was there still.
Absolutely. Right?
So if the Republican wins in a hugely Democratic state, that just upsets the whole balance of the Democratic Party in any state in the country. And it just happened in New Jersey.
And Joe Fleming, our political advisor, was saying, because of what you were just talking about, Vince, that the Democrats could be very nervous when elections come up because they may be losing their stronghold.
Well, listen, no doubt about it. You look at the polls lately, and Obama's ratings have been going down.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
it'll be interesting to see. But, Courtney, one of the things that I wanted to talk to you about is the fact that some of our viewers who live in the Massachusetts area will be going out and voting today. And the important thing is, no matter what, that you get to the polls and you vote, no matter who you're voting for.
And they're split right now on what they think of these big-name supporters who are supporting these candidates here. So I'll read a few from the blog, and then we'll head to Facebook. So this one is from Tripp, and he says, I don't think the big-name supporters that came out this weekend will sway many votes, but I do think it makes those who are supporting that particular candidate feel better about their choice. And Lisa says she voted in the poll, and she thinks big names will help them. So here's our poll that she's referring to on foxprovidence.com. Do you think big-name supporters of the candidates will affect affect the campaign? A, it will definitely help. B, it won't make a difference. Or C, it could have a negative impact. So you can weigh in there, or if you're on Facebook checking your mail, you can head over to our page and weigh in with the other 4 fans of the roadshow. And this one's from Bob Morris. He says, I don't think the big name supporters will have much of an influence on the outcome. It's going to be a really close race. And Corey Freitas says, I do think it will help. It usually always has in the past. And April says she lives in Rhode Island and she's sick of all the negative commercials from Coakley. She doesn't think the big guns will help. So those are some of the comments there from our viewers right now. If you do want to weigh in and you're just catching in with us, you can, and we'll have the poll results in about a half hour. So I'll let you know how this all fares out. For now, into the kitchen, Lily, what's going on?